It's been heavy on my mind since Saturday night, and I bet you can probably imagine. And wanted to wait till we got in front of you guys. I definitely thought about putting out a statement, but I thought it'd be better to do it this way, knowing we had Monday coming up with this. But when I saw my comments that I made, I always try to get our players to understand, like, you can't let frustration set in. And I always preach that, and I try to be very cognizant of that, and I think I did. I think I let the losing of that game, I think I let the fact that we had those Lettermen there, but our fans in general, because I didn't think we played with the spirit and the passion that we need to. And I look back at those comments when I saw them, and it's like I was blaming the players. That was never my intent. It was never my intent to do that. My intent, I started out, however I said it, and if I'd have started out with saying that I tell them all the time that I believe in them, and if I didn't believe in them, they wouldn't be here, but I do. And I didn't say that, and that was a mistake. But I am definitely sorry to them, which I've apologized to them, and we've talked through a lot of things, but I definitely apologize to them for that. Anybody else that offended, because that was never the intent. And but with that being said, the intent of the way we have to play with a level of spirit and passion and toughness, that's a high demand every day. And when it didn't happen the way I'd like to see it happen, I think I let it get to me a little bit that day, and I can't do that because it's not accurate. That's not a reflection of how I feel about them. It's not a reflection of how I feel about us. It's really not about blame, and I didn't want it. I should have never even let that enter my mind. It's about what are we going to do to get better? What can we do to improve? And like I've said, if I'd have started out like I tell them all the time, how much I believe in them, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to coach them hard and demanding and expect more out of them and expect that spirit. But I believe in these guys. And I think anybody that's around me on any consistent basis, and I'd hope it would start with them, they know that I love these guys. You grow into that. You don't love somebody when you first meet them necessarily, right? I mean, you don't have that right away, but you grow into that. And I think that's what's happened, and I feel very confident with that, and I needed to reiterate that to them most importantly yesterday. And at the same time start to talk about what are we going to do to get better, what are we going to do to get our roles better, what can we do to help each other's roles be better. So that's where that's at. I wanted to say that first, and it's a big deal to me. And I definitely thought about, okay, do I want to do something right away? I said, no, we'll just wait till everybody's together on Monday. So with that, as far as getting ready to go play this game, it's a short turnaround, but our guys, I think, are definitely excited to play. We know that they're coming off a big win the other day. They're a talented team. They've got explosiveness in the backcourt. They can score up front. They mix their defenses. They're at home, and we've got to go find a way. But I think everybody is excited to do that, and we're ready to go. Well, hopefully, after a couple hours, we'll be ready to go. So go ahead.
You said what you said. How did you can't take that back? Or I guess
no.
you did take
well,
it back.
I apologize for it.
How did the players, respond? Both, I guess, in this meeting you had, and then in practice.
Well, you know what? I told them. I reminded them again because it's not the first time I've said that. One thing we got to build is confidence, right? We don't have a lot of real confidence right now. So sometimes you got to remind people you believe in them, even when they don't necessarily see it themselves. And I didn't do a very good job of that the other day, obviously. But in other times with them, you see something. And it goes back to the spring, studying every guy in this team, going through the spring with them. You grow a belief, right? Greg McGarity gives every head coach, me and the 14, 15 other ones, every opportunity to build our roster. He makes that very clear. You play who you want to play. You build the roster the way you want to play it. And when you walk into a program, there's a way that players can go on. You can't take their scholarship. They can stay on an academic scholarship, but they don't have to be on the team. I got into this. I never even considered that, right? It's a first-year head coach with that rule being in place. I never even considered that. It's not about taking somebody's scholarship. You don't have the right to do that. But it's like believing in guys, right? And I want them to believe in themselves, and I think it's just another chance to reiterate that. But with that comes a standard that you've got to work towards, play to every day, and that's a demanding thing. Whether you're in a first-year job or whether you've been somewhere 10 years, you've got to demand that out of guys, and it was just a reminder of that. They know we can be better, but we're in it together, right? I mean, I've told, we want to fight with each other, right? That's what you're trying to build, and it takes time to build that. But that was definitely my mistake, and I didn't realize it at the time, or I'd have corrected it. I didn't realize it until I read my words. I said, that's not what I meant, and it certainly wasn't my intent, but I said it, and that's why I'm apologizing now.
When you spoke after the spring, after seeing the team, you did seem optimistic about the roster.
Oh, and I still am.
Okay.
It still am. I think that's where belief comes in, Seth. I mean, but that doesn't mean it's going to be good every day, because it's not. I mean, you've got to work with it. But I am honored and humbled to be this coach. And when you're that way at Georgia, all right, I'm honored to coach those guys. That doesn't mean I'm going to like it every day. That doesn't mean they're going to like me every day. That's part of building a team, building a family. You go through it, and you make mistakes. And this isn't the first time I've walked into them and say, hey, I made a mistake. Right? That's part of life, too. Because if I'm going to try to teach them the life lessons of good, you got to teach them when it's not so good and help reiterate that. It's what their families expect. So it's just a matter of working to get better on a daily basis. I mean, it is what it is, and we just want to continue to improve every way we possibly can, and that's what we've been trying to do.